Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the rhetorical terms connotation and denotation. The first rhetorical term we're going to focus on today is denotation. We're going to look at what is denotation and what are some examples of it in literature and in the world around us. Denotation is defined as the direct definition or meaning of a word or expression. In other words, if you looked up the word in the dictionary, what would its definition be? For example, the denotative meaning of ice cream would be that it is a soft, frozen treat containing milk, sugar, and flavoring. Now let's take a look at how denotation functions within literature. If we look at this brief excerpt from our reading Beowulf, we can look at the first sentence. Then the gold hilt was handed over to the old lord, a relic from long ago for the venerable ruler. There's a few words here that may be confusing. If you looked up the denotative meaning of hilt, you would learn that it's the handle of a sword or dagger. Here, Beowulf is literally handing the handle of a sword over to Hrothgar. If we look at the word relic, we see that it means a surviving memorial of something past. Its literal definition is that this sword is something that's important from the past that it's being handed over. If we look at the word venerable, we learn that it means commanding respect because of great age or impressive dignity. Here, we learn that the venerable ruler is Hrothgar. He's greatly respected because of his age. Now that we have a better understanding of denotation, we're going to look more at connotation. What is connotation, and what are some examples of connotation in the real world or in literature? Connotation is defined as the often socially constructed associated meaning of a word or expression. Unlike denotation, we're now looking at what the hidden meanings in the word might be. What does the word make you think or feel? So if we recall when we discussed the denotative meaning of ice cream, it was referred to as a soft and frozen treat containing milk, sugar, and flavoring. However, its connotative meaning is that it's often associated with summertime and feelings of happiness. Let's take a look at the same passage from Beowulf that we looked at earlier when we were discussing the denotative meaning. Then the gold hilt was handed over to the old lord, a relic from long ago for the venerable ruler. You may recall that the denotative meaning of that sentence is that Beowulf handed over a sword by its handle to the ruler of the Danes, who is Hrothgar. However, if we consider the connotative meaning of this passage and consider the feelings and emotions of it, we see that this is a moment between the rulers and the hero of two different nations, two different peoples, the Geats and the Danes. By handing over a relic, something with such great meaning to both parties, we see an extension of friendship and trust between the two nations. There are other examples of denotation and connotation just about anywhere you look in literature. In Old English texts like Beowulf, a great place to consider connotative and denotative meaning is by finding kennings. Kennings are hyphenated two-word phrases that describe an object through the use of metaphorical language. These are really common in Old English texts especially. One of my favorite examples of a kenning from Beowulf would be bone cage, which is on line 1446. If we look at the words bone cage, we would see that the denotative meaning would literally mean a skeleton. However, if we really consider the impact that bone cage has versus just saying skeleton, it can be really interesting. The word cage implies feeling of being trapped. It's almost as if the writer may be trying to say that we are trapped within our own bodies. If you look closely and consider the denotative and the connotative meaning of words when you read, you'll be amazed at how much a story can change just by looking at the word choice of the author. Thanks for listening today, and I hope you have a better understanding of what connotation and denotation are and how you can use these rhetorical terms to better your reading of literature.